Welcome back to another video. Today we have a video that I've been excited to do and finally moving forward on the LS. So as you can tell by the title, I've got nice all over my wheels. But as you can tell by the title, I've got brake lines, which we're gonna be rerouting the LS brakes. I am gonna also be doing the fuel lines because both of those hang super low before we get started on raising the floor and frame. I'm gonna get the LS in the driveway, we're gonna get it up on jack stands, and then I'm gonna figure out the easiest way to do it. I did end up ordering this brake line, which did come with fittings, and it is from Amazon. It was like, I believe, 22 bucks, so not bad. I'm excited. Yeah, let's get this video started. Hasn't been driven in like a week or two, so I'm hoping that she starts up. Oh. All right, so as I mentioned before, I am going to actually try and use as much line as I can. I'm gonna try and reuse this brake line that is currently on the car. So the way that it there is this flexible brake line hose that comes straight out of the caliper, comes up to this little brace, and then goes through it's actually through the frame. This is where it comes out. So it comes out on a fitting. It's kind of hard to see. I'll try and get a light here later. And then basically comes down through the car and underneath. So I did tuck it up as much as possible, but with the floor and frame raise, it is going to get chopped off. So what I'm going to try and do is actually take it off from this T-fitting, whatever you want to call it, right there. And then instead of running it against the frame, I'm going to go right here where I'm zooming in on, make a hole, run it through the vehicle, and then attach it in the back to both of the brake lines and brake calipers and all that jazz like it is right now. So I'm gonna try and reusing and rebending this brake line instead of using the new stuff. I took those two hoses, or the two brake lines, off, as you can see right here. I got those dangling. What I did do is I took these two off first, put this, catch can, whatever you want to call it, down, and then I opened up the reservoir on top and then was pumping the brakes basically because it points straight down to empty all the fluid. There is not the same thing on the other side. Let me go around there and I'll show you what it is. So we're underneath the driver's side, right next to the steering column, shaft, all that stuff. So as you can see, there's two lines that do the exact same thing. They come down. Well, these are fuel lines. The other side is brake lines. There's a rubber hose right here. There's a clamp that's supposed to be right here, which I took back and slid off already. And I'm about to take this off, as well as this other line. I had no idea where it went. Well, let me show you. This right here, next to your window washer reservoir, is an evap system. And as you can see there, it goes into the engine bay. Well, one of the lines that is down there actually is this line. So as you can see, it does say fuel line right here on it. What you're gonna wanna do is take that apart. I haven't done that yet, so I'll let you know what size it is. And then the other one, I was not sure, so I traced it over here to where the battery tray and stuff is, took that out, and found out it's a line that goes down underneath into the evap system. I wasn't sure how I was gonna reroute this, but then I realized that there's that rubber hose right there that it just hooks into. So I'm gonna leave that rubber hose, and then when I run the line through the vehicle, I'm just gonna have it come out, and then instead of going around the frame, up, and then hook in, it's just gonna go probably right through the firewall, straight into there, and then it'll have the same cycle system and lead to the exact same places. So I'm gonna take that off, let the fuel drip out into something else for right now, and then take off the rear brake lines. They are not teed up, but this one, it goes back there, and then they're both under the rear subframe, so I'll show you where that's at and the easiest way to take those apart. And then once I have the brake line out, we'll figure out a routing strategy and figure out how I'm gonna run it through the firewall. So let's get it. And we're back with an update. I did take off those fuel lines that I showed you, or the fuel line. It is a 14 and a 19. Not much fuel came out. I just moved this piece, you know, kind of out of the way and left this one right there for right now. I took off all the little clamps. Now it's hard to see down there. All the little clamp things that are just 10s that hold that in. And then I went along the vehicle. I had metal strapping, basically, sorry if it's windy by the way, I had metal strapping holding it as high up as possible. I took that off. And then I also took off this heat shielding for the giant stock mufflers, because I never took it off, because honestly it didn't bother me. You couldn't see it, whatever. But you do have to take those off since the fuel and the brake lines run underneath. But right here is where they run along. This is where the metal shielding stuff was. So I'm gonna take all these 10s off. Right here on the passenger side is where the brake lines meet up. There's two lines right there. They come to the back, and then as you can see, they split into both directions so that one can go one way, one can go the other way to each caliper. So I'm gonna take all these 10s off, like I said, figure out taking off the brake lines, the hard lines from each caliper, from that side as well as this side, because I have yet to do it, and then figure out the easiest way to pull this brake line out. So again, I'm gonna try and reuse the brake line that is already in the car, as well as the fuel line that is already in the car, just because that way I can return and save money, and I won't worry about messing this stuff up. So once I have it out, I'll figure out the best way to route it through like the firewall or through the floorboards up close to where it's above the frame, and go from there. And alakazam. So here we've got both of the brake lines. What I did just to take these out, this side was pretty easy just because it already runs along this side and then goes to this caliper. The other one actually went over the rear subframe and basically bolted over there. I just kind of, as I was pulling it through, I just kind of bent it a little bit, just kind of to straighten it out, and it pulled out pretty easy. On this side, we have the fuel line, pretty much as it is now is how it is on the vehicle. It was pretty easy because I did raise my subframe and my diff, all that jazz. The top of the subframe was pushed up against this little piece that goes to the filter, but I just bent that a little bit and was able to break off that plastic piece that holds it in. So I got this stuff out. I'm going to, not sure what I'm going to do next, probably figure out the best way to route it through the firewall. Probably the most hidden way. I mean, I really don't want to show that there's a bunch of holes or whatever else, but whatever I do, I'm gonna make sure, you know, it's not gonna affect the structure, all that good stuff. So give me a little bit to figure that out. I'm gonna now go eat some food because I'm starving, and then we're gonna get back in it. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying this video already. It is kind of hard with one person. I can't really, you know, post the camera up in these tiny spots or get underneath with the car while I'm taking stuff off. But I hope you're enjoying the video, and I'm gonna show you what I'm up to. Let's get it going. Bada bing, bada boom. Yes, sir. So, if you can see that right about there, that is one of the brake lines, which I just took out. Sorry, it's blurry, I'm not sure why. I ran it through the firewall. I'm gonna show you that in just a sec. But right here is where those T-lines, whatever, hook up to, and yeah. What I did was just took a normal drill with a drill bit. I don't know what size this is, you could use any size. And then I used a tree cone, whatever this thing is called, to basically widen it. So I did do it right here. Not that big of a hole, enough for both of these lines to go through. Honestly, I did, oops, sorry that it is blurry. I did probably do a little bit bigger hole than necessary, but oh well. I'll end up getting like a little plastic piece, kind of like these, and closing it off just so water and stuff doesn't get through. But yeah, probably will not hook that up yet. I'll pull it through, figure out where I'm going to kind of make a hole for this to go through. Probably, I don't know, somewhere near the back seat, route that down, and then straight to this caliper. And then with the other side, it will be the exact same thing, basically through here, probably through the exact same hole, and then it does go across by the rear subframe and then hooked up to that caliper. So I have class in about like 45 minutes, so I'm gonna try and get a little bit of this done before that. I'm gonna hit class real quick, and then once I'm done, it will be dark, but I'm gonna finish up hopefully running the brake lines, still utilizing the stock brake lines, which haven't had a problem with yet, since they don't go underneath the car, meaning they don't have to go down and up or whatever. I think there's actually gonna be a bit too much like feetage, too much feetage, whatever you'd call it. I think it's gonna be too long to hook up, but I'll end up just routing it somewhere else. And then with the fuel line, really should not be that hard either. It's gonna be, I think, easier actually, and I am sticking with these hard lines just for now to utilize the stock fuel line until I get a fuel cell, until I make the trunk pretty, and then reroute probably just either fuel hose or braided line or something. I'm not sure yet, but figured I'd give you an update before I got into class, before it got dark, and I will catch up with you guys after I get this set up and once I'm back to working on the LS. And we're back. So while we've got the beautiful sunset, I am just wrapping up with the brake lines. They are not jank, but they do not look the prettiest. They do the job, they're out the way, and until I go insane in the membrane on, you know, doing a lot of stuff I got planned for this, I'll end up rerouting them prettier later. But with all that being said, they're all the way against the wheel well bent, and I might actually make a bracket that goes, you know, against the wheel well just to keep it back there, but it's behind the coilover. And the coilover also has my SS kit. So the coilover is basically all the way against the wheel well as well. Nothing's gonna be hitting that. Same with this side. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. I will show you how it's run. It was a little bit of a pain. It's run right here through the car, all the way up there. I do have some slack, so I'm not worried about, you know, it being all flimsy or whatever, how it's sitting right now. But underneath, we've got the little hole that it comes out. I've got, you know, one of these just routed right here. Everything is over the subframe, and then also this one. So I'm gonna make brackets to hold these out of the way, but for right now, you know, that's kind of the slack I was talking about. I don't know how I'm doing it on that side yet, because that is where the driver's side, where the driver sits. Honestly, probably will do it the same way, but it is some thick boy line, so I don't know. Let me go check that out and put the light and all this stuff and figure out what I want to do, and I'll catch up with you guys. Welcome back to the vlog. It is a new day, but the sun is already going down. I came out here and gave a full rundown of basically why I wasn't gonna finish the LS in this video, but after my classes kind of, you know, I was paying attention in class, of course, but also looking some stuff up on the side, and totally ran by me that since I want to extend these fuel lines, I can cut off the ends, run rubber hose basically as an extender, and then run the actual metal fuel lines through the vehicle. So after classes, of course, I mean, it's 5 o'clock right now, sun is kind of going down. Figured I'd give you a rundown before it gets too dark. I did just go to AutoZone. I usually go to O'Reilly's. Felt like going to AutoZone this time just because it's closer, and I kind of lucked out. The dude behind the desk let me go back there. I found some extra pieces of hose for the perfect size, just the sizes that I need. He gave me basically a half off discount on this high pressure fuel line, and saved me about 40 bucks. So I'm gonna show you real quick what we're working with. This is where the fuel line comes from, or actually I guess this is the feed, goes into the stock fuel pressure regulator, into the fuel rails, all that good stuff. So what I'm gonna do is reuse the stock little adapter piece, basically put a clamp right there. I just got this 5/16, so I just got this 5/16 fuel hose. I got 6 foot of it, and what I'm gonna do is actually run it right here behind, over where the heater core, all that good stuff is, and then run it down and back through the exact same hole that I ran the brake line through. So you can kind of see right there where it's gonna go. Yes, I'm gonna have to open that up a little bit. That's not a problem. I'll put a rubber grommet so that, you know, bouncing around it doesn't cut into anything. With this, the other one is 1/4. So I took this 1/4 hose, and it's not gonna be attached to this exact metal piece, but it's gonna be attached to the identical metal piece that basically runs from the evap system, basically right there, kind of where the engine oil dipstick tube goes, is where it stops. So I'm gonna run this from down there around the back of the engine, same location, here she is, and then down through that same hose. Come over here, let's see if she's unlocked, and she is. So once it comes through the firewall, then I will have a little bit of extra. I'll have an adapter and a clamp right here, basically run the hard lines. I don't know if I want to go the exact same spot and open up that hole. I'm probably gonna have to move this anyways because of how high we're moving the floors, but we will see. If not, then I will probably run it. Not quite sure yet. I'm gonna figure that out in a minute, but I'm glad that at least I will hopefully have the car running today. It's not like it wasn't running, basically just has no fuel. So I'm gonna hook everything up. I'm gonna move my fuel filter into the actual trunk because I left it in the stock location. Let's get to it before it gets too dark. I'm gonna hurry up and try to hook this stuff up, run it, route it, and then once I get the hard lines in, I will show you what we're cooking with, and hopefully you guys can do the same thing, or at least take the ideas and form it into something of your own. So let's get her going. Although I'm still figuring out everything with the LS, routing it. I'll show you the easiest way to do it in a sec. Just wanted to say what another beautiful night, beautiful sunset. There we go. What a beautiful view with a beautiful car. Hopefully finishing up pretty soon. So you know what? I'm digging the vibes. I think Alex is on his way. I'm probably super grody. Spent the last like 30 minutes routing it a certain way, and then totally forgot that basically behind the back seat is a little hole, which the stock fuel pump would be where you get access to that. I'm not sure, but right there is how I'm gonna run it. I'm probably just gonna run it boom, boom, boom. This again is just so I can bring it back and forth to the shop, keep it running while having all the lines gone, and not having to worry about anything else. And then once the floor and everything else is done, I will be running braided line, AN fittings, fuel cell, all that good stuff. So don't worry about it being sketch. It is sketch for off-road purposes, uses only. It's not gonna be for long. It is just to do the job for right now. So let me get back to this, and probably in about 2 minutes, I will catch up with you guys. Alex will probably be here, and I will explain what I ran. Mimi. Yes, sir. All right, so everything is now connected. The 19 and the 14 is tight. All clamps are on. I'm just routing it here so there's not pressure on this hose that's going to the stock fuel pressure regulator. Everything is ran all the way back through the evap system, fuel canister. I have that coming around here and right up through there so it stays away from the manifold and anything hot. When you come over here, I do have it against what I believe is an AC line, just to hold it, again, away from anything hot. Going through the car, I have it coming out the firewall. Everything is tightened right now. It is super ugly, but it does the job, and I mean, it's not like anyone's gonna sit here right now. It goes basically through here, and hooks up to my fuel filter, which I will hook up somewhere, at least to keep it sturdy against the tank. And then, yeah, so all clamps are on. I know that I don't have much fuel, but I'm gonna start it up. I'll let the fuel pump prime and then at least make sure there's no leaks for right now. Okay, so I hear it. No leaks.
Make sure everything's good.
Yeah, it seems like no leaks up here. At least this should be about 40 PSI, I believe. 40 to 45, I believe I read in the forum. So no leaks right now. We're gonna give her a start.
Did you check the rear? Then any leaks back here?
You know what? You're smart.
Everything seems good back here.
Yeah, if anything, it'd be out of this. Feels like it's moving right now, so.
Yeah, it should be good. Hey, why did you get scared?
I got scared just a little bit. I'm gonna go around and just make sure that there's nothing leaking. It should be a lower PSI, I believe, right now, or a high, I don't know. I'm gonna just make sure it doesn't.
Everything seems good.
Yeah, seems like no leaks. Yeah, turn her off. This is going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this kind of helped you figure out what you're gonna do if you're doing it to your LS or whatever you plan on doing it to. Again, for the 100th time, this is gonna be temporary, just so I can get it to the shop and stuff, so I can start chopping up the floor and getting all that ready. And then that's when I'll make it nice. You saw us start it, there was no leaks. Me and Alex just bled the brakes, so those should be good. It will continue to stay on stocks for right now, just driving it back and forth. And then once everything's done, I'll lower it, I'll test the fitment, you know, throw the spacers on, do camber, whatever else. And then I also got some parts and stuff that are in the mail on the way down. So for the rest of the month, you guys should have a LS-filled, content-filled YouTube to watch on your free time. And again, I hope you guys are enjoying. So I will catch you on the next one. Stay tuned. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Later.